Okay.
Hey.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, okay.
All right. So the first thing I want to talk about is something new I just did at Six Flags Great Adventure. I rode the new VR version of Zumanjaro, Drop of Doom.
Oh, okay.
Got on that. You know, last year it was a coaster, now it's a drop tower. Right? I think I did a short run on Skull Mountain at Great Adventure last year.
Okay.
At the very end of the season. I did not get a chance to experience that. But I'm assuming it's probably just the same headgear, the same thing.
Yeah.
This is the one that's that's interactive, where you shoot things.
They give you something to hold?
So, no, it's in the headgear. On the right side is a button, so you look like Cyclops in the X-Men films, where you have like a little button on the side of your goggles, and you hit that, and then only nothing really shoots out. You're shooting in your virtual world. So, and that works really well. All right, so I got a working piece of headgear this time, no issues. It worked from beginning to end. It's the same gear that you experienced in New England. I'm assuming it's all the same.
Yeah,
with the nice
like a
tightening gear in the back.
Yeah,
makes it nice and tight on your head. It's a Galaxy S7, is what it is. This is a little different though than what we had in New England because you can shoot with that one little button. It's not a tactile button. It's like a little finger sensor.
Okay.
Like, it doesn't really push in. It just, every time you touch it though, and you can hold it, and it just strafes. It'll strafe fire. It's an actual just like giant like chain gun or something. You're supposed to be in a helicopter. You're supposed to be like in one of those like those giant guns that shoot outside a helicopter.
Okay.
You know. So the real reason I want to mention it to you, Andrew, though, especially, is because this is, I think, now that I've done it, I wasn't sure. I didn't know what to think. I was actually a little nervous going in. I was kind of like, this is going to be weird. It's only the second time. I only did that ride once, the time I was with you. And tallest in the world. You know, it can be a little freaky just as is. And then I wasn't sure how weird this was going to be. I had this thing on my head and the whole thing. But it really takes the edge off. It's like it's someone who has a fear of heights. It's their dream for a ride like this, because you can do it and you don't have any idea how high you're going.
Right.
As you actually start rising in the ride, in the virtual world, you don't necessarily just go straight up. You like move forward and to the side, like you're supposed to be in a helicopter. So in your virtual world, you're moving more than just up. You're going up and also out in different directions, like in an angle, and then you control the angle of the gun by just with your head. Move your neck around. If you look up, like the gun will go up, and you look down or side to side and left, right, and then you just hit your button and you just shoot, and there's little spiders.
It's a spider invasion?
That's the thing. Yeah, and then they've advertised that. It tells you even when you're waiting online, I think. But they've advertised on the website and everything. Yeah, it's some kind of giant mutant spider invasion. So there's one giant mother spider. You see it at the very beginning. It disappears, and then she's hatching a little baby spiders, throwing little baby spiders at you, and then those are what you're shooting. So you're just shooting those. So you really are distracted. You're going up the 400-foot tallest drop tower in the world, but you don't know it. You can't see. You just see the virtual world, and it's it's slightly video gamey, cartoony. So you don't feel like you're really rising just by looking at that. And then you're shooting too, and there's sound that you hear. So it's like it's not perfect. They don't have, there's no headphone. It's just coming from the phone that's a little bit in front of your face, but you can hear it. It comes through, and you do hear it.
Yeah,
you do hear it enough, so you can hear that. And it's neat. And then you just feel as you're rising, like you do feel that you're going up, especially when you first start, and you feel like the wind. Like you feel the breeze like on your legs. I was wearing shorts that day. So it's like, it's like kind of like you're in the world. You're in the video game. You're like, oh, I'm feeling the breeze. And like, I feel something, But again, you have no idea. You could be on a 50-foot high tower for all you know.
Yeah.
You don't know that you're going so high. So it really, I think it's great, especially for someone like you who doesn't really like the heights.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like I kind of feel they should offer this all the time now.
Yeah.
Because there's a way you can do it and not be freaked out. It takes that out of it. And then the other thing, the reason why I was a little freaked out going in, I figured you might not know when you were going to drop because you don't necessarily know even when you're done rising. Maybe you feel a little something, but you don't know when it finally hits that point. Because you're essentially blindfolded with a video game. But no, it's synced up, and it does. Like there's a climax when you get to the top, and then like the big mother spider that comes in like on top of a skyscraper, because it's like the size of a sky. It can sit. It's like King Kong. It can sit on top of a skyscraper. It's this giant spider, and like the music like ramps up and it's like dun 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 dun. It's like movie score kind of. And then it's like so you're gonna drop. And then actually, I think the point of view faces down. It looks down, straight down at the ground, and then you actually drop.
Oh.
And you're looking at the ground, rushing at you, face down, in your VR, like while you're dropping.
Okay.
Even though you have your head looking out, that's what it does. So you do know very much so when it's going to drop. It's a whole theatrical thing, and they ripped off Spider-Man because you're saved by a spiderweb. They totally ripped it off. You're saved by a spiderweb before you hit the street. Only this is weird because it's unintentional. It's like the spider was the bad guy.
Yeah.
That you were fighting, but I guess unintentionally you just get stuck in the web and you survive. Because it tries to. It does throw you out of the helicopter, I guess, and you fall, but then you are saved by its web.
Oh, okay.
In an instance, but it's cool. It only goes for one more week. Though.
What? It's not the whole summer?
I know, and that's because again, Skull Mountain I think was just October. It was just Fright Fest season. They did Skull Mountain. That was it. And now they're doing this. It was just spring. It was just I think it was just month of May, and this first weekend of June, and that's it. They're doing very limited runs with these things, and it was only 3 p.m. to close.
What?
Too, by the way. Yeah, that's right. It was only 3 p.m. to close.
All right, that's
not whole day.
weird.
I got it by doing the old get online 2 minutes before 10.
Yeah.
But it was good. It was good, and it's like I don't know. You should carry a VR set around with you for all the high rides from now on. It'll work wonders for you. But it's cool. I'm glad I did it. So.
All right, that's interesting.
And then even if you're not afraid of heights, like I'm not necessarily afraid of heights, it was still an interesting enough experience to do it that way. I actually kind of feel like it works better on that than the coasters.
Okay.
I think it makes more sense. I wouldn't mind seeing it on those more often. The coasters, again, I don't know. Even if it had worked on Superman, I don't know. At New England.
Well, it's not going to be better.
Yeah, a good ride is just I want to see it and I want to enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
I don't think it's really that great on the coasters, actually.
Okay, so let's move on to...
You want to hear about Coasterstock, don't you?
Yeah. Coasterstock.
Yeah, Coasterstock. All right. I mean, you want just overall impression first? I liked it.
Okay.
So
this is
I felt
explain this a little bit.
I felt it was a positive thing. So this was, and this is something that's new to both of us, although only I went on this one.
Yeah, I couldn't make it out there.
The idea of doing an organized, exclusive to roller coaster club member event at a park. Neither one of us have ever done anything like that before. We've always just did the regular thing. We always did our parks in the regular operating hours, for better or for worse. We made it work all these years. So I wanted to try it. I want to see what this is all about. Get some exclusive ride time, as they call it. And well, it's ERT, So this was an event that was organized by Kings Island. It was open to members of, I think, about 8 to 10 different groups. ACE is the group that I joined for this. I had been a member one other time before for a year, a bunch of years back, but never used it for anything. And then I never did it again. And then I just joined this year, knowing I was going to do this.
So you're an acer.
I'm an acer now. Yeah. Which I don't mind. You know what? I'm happy with that. I sure as hell wasn't going to join, dare we even say it on the show. Just cut this out. Theme park review, or Coaster Crew. They were on there though. They were on the list. There was a couple. There was like the European coasters, something or other, and
Didn't want to join that one?
North American something or other. Yeah, Ace is all right. You know, joined the classic one. I don't mind them. They're good. Did great Arrow documentary. Love that. So
Yeah.
they're still out there. They're actually still doing stuff. So that's good to know. So it's a little. It's I want to say it's hardcore. It's hardcore in terms of the number of hours you're going to devote to it. I don't know that the actual experience beyond that is hardcore. I didn't ride anything, too many more times than I would have, I guess, otherwise. It was just nice to use the ERT to get the rides in fairly effortlessly instead of having to worry about working it during the main day. It is hardcore in terms of the hours you're going to devote, though, because they do it before the park opens and then after the park closes. It was $40 for season pass holders. It's like an additional $40. But again, I will say it's worth it. You do get a lot. You get a lot for your value. You get the ERT sessions, and you get 4 of them. So it's over 2 days. It was over a Friday and a Saturday. You also get an unlimited drink wristband.
Oh.
Which I guess is part of their dining plans. Otherwise, normally, you get one of those included. So you get unlimited drinks anywhere you want. You get the photo card, which they call Fun Pics at Cedar Fair, which I think this might be the first year they're doing it. It's the first year that I'm aware of it. I know Six Flags started doing a system like that last year, and they're doing it again this year. Cedar Fair doing that now too, where you just get a card and you can scan it and you get all your ride pictures throughout the entire day. I think that's like a $30 a day value, and you got that was valid for both days that you're going to be there. We got a free shirt. You get a shirt with the commemorating the event, and I want to say backpack. It's like one of those. It's all material though. There's no like lining to make the bottom stiff.
Oh,
it's
sure.
Just like a pouch.
A little pouch on strings.
A pouch on strings on your back. You get one of those. So you get a little swag, with the event. You get a little something. So they sweeten the pot. They make it so you make you feel kind of special.
Yeah.
You get some cool stuff. Also, there was a meal both days.
Just one meal?
I did not partake in that. Yeah, they did lunch the first day, the Friday, I think, and then dinner the Saturday.
Okay.
I don't know how they figure that out, but yeah. So you do get access to the picnic pavilion, or at least one of them they have in the park. This one was behind Planet Snoopy, on that side of the park.
Oh, the right side.
There's a really large. I did walk back there to check it out on the second day for that dinner, but we missed dinner. It was too late.
Oh, so you were gonna do it?
I was gonna, I wanted to see what kind of food they had and check it out, but we got there kind of late. They do like guest speakers during the meals too, so if that's a thing you're interested in, that I didn't care about. There was no names I recognized.
Oh, okay.
It was basically just like Kings Island officials.
Oh,
is what it was. It was like the park president and then whatever you could. Didn't say they were doing Q&A either. It just said guest speakers. I would imagine they may have answered some questions though. I know that's what they usually do with these kind of things. So that's sort of the interactive part. I guess that's the part for the real enthusiasts to get excited about. Like, oh, they're gonna say what they want to say, but then maybe get a chance to ask them something. Like, well, got any coasters planned for next year? That kind of thing. That's what they get asked. So I didn't happen to catch any of that though. But Kings Island, not anywhere near a home park for me, so I was just excited to be there. I wanted to really dig my claws in the park and just do all the rides. So
right.
That was more important to me. So I didn't get a chance to do the speakers. Oh, and there was one other thing. There was a beast tour where they take you around and they show you, I guess, some behind the scenes stuff about the beast.
Oh, okay.
Also, did not get a chance to do that.
All right.
It just didn't happen. That was one thing I did plan on doing. I never really planned on doing the meals. I think it just listed like hot dogs, hamburgers, and although the dinner I think had more. The dinner had like turkey and stuffing, like a Thanksgiving dinner thing or whatever. I think, but maybe they went down the road to Holiday World and they got it, took it over there. But I didn't plan on doing that anyway. The tour I did plan on doing, and then it just things just got backed up and just didn't happen. Just as it tends to happen when you're doing these big park days.
Right.
Maybe I regret slightly, but whatever. I got so many good rides in. I'm over it. But all right, so there you go. So you get a lot for your value. I think, but you got to be there early. The registration starts at 6:30 in the morning. I think.
Wow.
We got there on that Friday morning at maybe 7:15 or so. We figured because ERT starts at 8:30. It turns out though we should have got there at like 6:30 because by the time we got there was such a line. It ate into half of that first ERT session.
Oh,
because it just took us that long just to register. Yeah.
Oh wow.
They hand you the backpack with the shirt in it there at the time when you register, but then we're all there to then run into the park and go to ERT and ride coasters. You don't want to have things in your hand or wear a backpack. Yeah. So almost everyone at that point had to go back into the parking lot after their car to go, including me.
Oh.
I opted to do this because I wasn't going to get a locker. Maybe if you were planning on getting a locker anyway that day, if you're one of those type of folks, maybe it was fine for you. But I noticed almost everyone, at least 2/3 of the people were going back to their car with the backpack in their hand. So that was kind of annoying too. I don't know how they could have done that any better. I noticed, but actually a lot of people were wearing, I think, last year's Coasterstock shirts to the event. I tried to wear something that was a little bit off the usual radar. I wore my Michigan's Adventure shirt.
Yeah.
It's Midwest still. It's kind of like a Midwest connection, but it's a little out of the way, and it's not a part that gets talked about a lot. So that's what I did. I wore a Michigan's Adventure shirt the first day.
Did you get any comments?
Which is cool. Actually, as I was walking back to the parking lot to deposit the backpack into my car, I passed the guy who had the same shirt on, just a different color. Mine was I got the gray and black one. He had the brown one, and he saw me first. He's like, "Hey, look at that!" and we both feel like "Hey," pointing to each other. So it's kind of fun.
Okay.
And there you go. That's a good introduction to that. That's the fun of going with the other enthusiasts. That is different, and I liked it. That's one of those things that I could see where the more you do things like this, the harder and harder it's going to be to do the regular operating days.
Oh.
It's so nice to eliminate the riffraff.
Ooh.
It's nice to just be with people that appreciate the experience the same way I do. Mm-hmm. Everyone was courteous and you all know why you're there, and you're all there for the same reason. And then, and almost everybody has some kind of park shirt or an event shirt, maybe from another event they did years ago or something. I say riffraff. It's just the local kids. They can't help it. They're excited to be there and everything. And I get it, but you get to a certain age yourself where you're kind of far removed from that, and you just we appreciate these things on a different level than they do. Sure. And it is nice to just be able to do it and not have to have the kids pushing into you or just hear their dumb conversations, even sometimes inadvertently, or just whatever it is, and then the ones that cut the lines, "Oh, can I go up with him? He's up there," and that shit. And it's just nice to not have that, even if it is just for a couple hours in the morning and a couple hours at night. But it's nice. It really is nice. We did the morning ERT. The morning ERT was in the action zone, so it was Banshee, Delirium, Drop Tower, the Bat, and in Vertigo. I did mostly Banshee. Oh man, that ride. I think I liked it better this time than the first time. It got me even better this time. That's a great ride.
Yeah.
That's such an awesome ride. I had so much fun on that.
Is still doing the Banshee shriek?
Oh yeah. Every train up there.
Jeez.
All right. That's so good. Bat was fun. That I didn't enjoy as much this time, I think, as I did last time. It's a great ride. It's the best of those still standing.
Yeah.
But it's no wolf.
Yeah.
Overheard at least one person telling some other people about the wolf.
Okay.
As we were walking up, Oh, of course, a lot of that. When you go to an event, it's all enthusiasts. So the little bits of conversations that you do over here are all about parks and coasters. It's kind of neat, actually. It's not nearly as annoying and obnoxious as I thought it might have been. That was, I think, and I think maybe you too. I think we maybe talked about it on the show before, or at least amongst ourselves. That was one of the things we were both a little bit worried about with this. It's almost going to be a little too much. But I didn't find that. I didn't find it was too much. It was nice. It's a nice level.
Okay.
It's a nice level of that. Interesting that the ride ops that were here for these ERTs, they were either enthusiasts themselves or at least knew how to play up to the enthusiast crowd because they did. They talked about, they would just use coaster terminology. The guy on Bat was like trying to get us to like be more excited about it. He was like, yeah, this coaster is driven on enthusiasm or something like that. You might get a couple miles an hour faster. We don't want it to valley now. They're using like terms like valley and talking about that. Talking about it's the best arrow suspended out there. It's better than and they all that was a funny kind of gimmick. I don't know if they talked about it ahead of time. I don't know how that or they just do it. Every like ride up, at least during the ERTs, said like this ride's better than all the other rides in the park. Like they talk about that ride was the best.
Oh, okay.
That was like a thing. But it's better than Banshee. They played it up. They'd say like, you guys in the back, you're getting the good speedy ride. Like they would like play up the fact like that we're enthusiasts. I mean, yeah, we know, we get it. We're not the idiots that just think row 4 is great. Because we're near the front.
Yeah, well, it's funny you bring up, row 4. Were all of the trains just like front and back? Like, was there anyone sitting in the middle?
Yes. For the ones like the Bat that where less people went to it, so there wasn't enough to fill every train anyway. Yes, it was like all back and front car.
That's pretty funny.
Yes, because that's exactly what it was. Like where like Banshee got a bigger part of the crowd, people did fill the middle rows in. But if you had the choice and there wasn't a lot of people in the station, it was like front and back. Yeah, because everybody knows what they're doing. It's great, It's funny. I heard a couple comments a couple of times I got off Banshee. People were like, "Ooh, that was good. That was intense."
Yeah.
It goes to like what we think about too. I think we're some of the hardcore enthusiasts actually like the lighter side of things a little bit. They like rides you can just ride over and over and over and over again.
Right.
More, I think they appreciate that more actually than the ones that really kind of kick your ass, and you can only do it a couple times before you start feeling it. But whatever, to each their own. I get it.
So that was confirmed then. That
a little bit, yeah. I was on
here.
Banshee. I heard a couple people were like, "Oh, that was intense."
Yeah.
Like they did not like it, but it was a little on the intense side for them, kind of thing.
Okay, so how long, did you have to wait for anything?
Oh, it was like a 1 or 2 train wait.
Oh, it says it's walk on, really.
Everything, yeah, virtual walk on.
Yeah.
For everything. Again, whatever the numbers they worked for this were, they did it right.
Okay,
it definitely worked. Yeah, everything. You didn't have to wait. During these ERT sessions.
Great.
It was good. They also gave us like some free pastries.
Oh,
bagels
really?
And donuts out for us with some coffee and water.
Oh, that's nice.
Which was nice too for that first morning run.
And then how long again was the ERT?
It was an hour and a half in the morning.
Hour and a half. Okay.
It was I think 8:30 to 10.
And so were you able to hit all those rides in the action zone?
I was able to, yeah. So then the nighttime ERT was the new ride, Mystic Timbers, Diamondback, Beast, and the Flying Ace aerial chase.
That's a funny one to throw in there.
Yeah, the former Reptar, now Snoopy themed, whatever that is. Junior SLC, I guess. Family SLC, they call it, something like that.
Yeah, whatever. So this is what, this starts at 10?
So this starts at 10:30.
Oh, 10:30.
They do a half-hour gap to get the regulars out.
Okay.
No holding pens. It was not like a Halloween Horror Nights thing. We didn't have to go into holding pens or anything. We're able to roam the park freely. It's just up to you to get to the zone where the ERT is, which in this case was that border between Rivertown and Planet Snoopy, that corner back there. At some point, security guards do go through, I guess, doing what they do every night, probably their regular nightly sweep. But then when they see you have the badge, they're like, oh, all right. And then if anything, if you're too far from the zone where you're supposed to be, they'll tell you to get, maybe how to get there, the quickest way to get there. Otherwise, they just assume you're on, like, both times it happened to us, we were on our way there to that zone anyway. I know where I'm going in that park. So we were close enough that they're just like, I heard the guy say, the other security guy, like, oh, they got the badge. Like, don't worry. And then they just guard, or they put like a couple ropes up to like, so you don't go into, once everybody's where they need to be and that's it, they just block off so you can't go back to the other parts of the park at night when it's closed now. The nighttime ERT was cool. I mean, it was great to get night rides. Kings Island, out in that area, Mason, Ohio, outside Cincinnati. It's the western end of the eastern time zone. So it stays light out even later there than it does here in New York, certainly. So in the summer, you don't get much. You know, you really just get like a 9:15 to 10 night rides. That's it. So it was great to have all this nighttime action. Interesting. So this was less rides, no flats or anything, just the 4. I never even walked over to Aerial Chase. So I have no idea what was going on over there. I wouldn't be surprised if it just didn't run the whole night, if it just sat there. Because who's going to do that, really?
Right, yeah.
There was like a few kids, but not a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It started at like 13 and up for the most part of the crowd. You know, as you might think. There was only a couple of younger kids, that were brought there.
Yeah.
By their parents or whatever. But
there's no age restriction on this event.
No, there's no age restriction.
Yeah.
I will say it was probably it was a little more varied than maybe I thought it was going to be. I did expect to see some of the older enthusiasts, just knowing how far this goes back already, how far Ace goes back, and it's been 20 years even since this whole thing's been on our radar, watching those Discovery Channel specials years ago.
Mm-hmm.
We knew there were these Acers and that are, if they were 30 then, they're 50 now. So I knew there'd be some older people there. But there maybe was even a few more than I thought. There was even some older couples that look like they're about 60 or so, maybe, or in their 60s.
Okay.
That were there doing it, which is cool.
Yeah, that's nice.
Nice to see. It was a range, and then but most everyone else was like 20s and 30s. That was like by far the largest portion of it. So
all white.
All you want demographics? Yeah, for the most part, not too much. Not too much variety, I guess, on that.
What about just men versus women?
Oh, heavy male.
More, yeah.
It weighs towards male, yeah. Yeah. And it's like most of the females, my situation was no different. With me, the female with me, they're there with someone. They're with a guy.
Yeah. Okay.
But you could tell they were enthusiasts too, though. It's just the handful of enthusiast couples that get together. I didn't sense too much like one person dragged the other, Although I could see, because there was actually people waiting. Like, even though it was ERT, there was some people waiting. Like, some people weren't riding. They were just, like, waiting for other people to get off.
Okay.
So that would have been some situations where some of those might have been parents that chaperoned, like, teenagers that they didn't want to go alone. Mm-hmm. But others, I think, may have actually been, like, they were accompanying their spouse or significant other. And but maybe they're not as into it. They may have only rode once or twice, and it was enough for them, and then they were just waiting in the midway after that. So there was a little bit of that. But yeah, it's probably like 75-25 or so, men to women.
Yeah.
It was mostly guys, So the nighttime was great. During that session, so I don't know about Aerial Chase. Diamondback otherwise was the least attended.
Really?
Enough.
Well, I can understand people wanting to do the new ride, but...
Well, it goes back to another thing being confirmed here. Acers, or enthusiasts in general, love the wood.
Ah, okay.
They still love the Beast. Beast and Timbers split the crowd, mostly. And then Diamondback was, like, front and back. And the middle rows were all empty. Yeah. It was interesting to see that. As good as Diamondback is, like... But they just want their wood, That's what they prefer. Beast, wow, finally got it in complete darkness. Again, it's not my home park. I don't know if they just happen to cut some of the lighting on it just anyway, or if they do it specially for something like this because they know the enthusiasts want it dark. That first half is ridiculous. You can't see your hand in front of your face. We got lucky. It was like no moon.
Oh.
That weekend it was like a weird thing where the moon was out more in the daytime. Actually, it was like rising like in like 3 a.m, and then it was down by 8 p.m. or so. It was some weird hours the moon was doing that time. So no moon for this period. So nothing. Oh, it was so dark. It was so great. That just shot up there one of my best night rides now.
Okay.
The ride itself doesn't make as much sense as Boulder Dash. So
Yeah.
I thought I'd still be the ultimate night ride, but this is right up there though, with no lights on at least. Wow, you have no idea where you're going, and you feel like you're going like twice as fast as you are.
Yeah.
You feel like you're going 100 miles an hour because you just can't see anything, just an occasional like blur of trees going by, and you feel like you're going so fast, like you're so out of control. That was great. That was worth everything. Actually, that nighttime beast was great, and then the double helix just insane as ever. And then the Timbers.
Where's the entrance to this now? Where did they
Oh,
put
okay.
it exactly?
So, all right. What they had to do is they just completely used what was the former Rapids Q and that funnel cake stand that was there. The way it was if you remember, it was you exited Planet after the log flume, and you exited Planet Snoopy. There was that on the right, across from like the Wings, the former Wings diner. It was like the entrance to the Rapids, and then the exit on either side of a funnel cake building.
Yeah.
So like that building was probably original to the park, it would seem. And then when they added the Rapids a few years in, you enter and exit on on either side of this building, which was always a little awkward. But they tore that building down. That's like Mystic Timbers Plaza now. It's like that building is gone. The Rapids queue is totally gone, and it's that's where they like the midway goes maybe out a little wider than it used to. It sort of makes it a little more of a plaza, and then there's the sign, and then there's the queue entrance to Mystic Timbers. So like if you're still in Planet Snoopy and you look at the log flume, like now the backdrop instead of just trees is like you see the station for Mystic Timbers. The Rapids now they had to move the entrance to way in the back of Rivertown, right next to where the Tomb Raider entrance used to be.
Oh, so they really, yeah.
It's very, yeah. And I approached that for the first time this time, coming from the Coney Mall.
Yeah.
With Vortex at my back. So, and then all of a sudden I was like, whoa, Rapids is over here now. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That came up a lot sooner than it used to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's way sooner than it used to be. All the way over there. And you have to walk over the train tracks over there. And then there's like a railroad crossing. And then you approach it's a long curve just all the way back. And then you meet up to where the old queue was at those bridges, those twin bridges
Okay.
that they had. All right. And then what else do you want to know?
I'm not even gonna go into theming, whatever. It's just like Western theme.
Oh, the ride? Oh no, it's actually not.
It's not.
There's a lot of theming though, which is surprising.
Really?
And doesn't really fit Cedar Fair exactly. It's a little bit of a Verbolten ripoff.
Oh no!
Unfortunately.
Oh come on!
I know,
Kings
right?
Island.
It's like not even a good theme. I mean, it is different, but only in the sense that it's like trees and cars.
But it's like evil trees, right?
Right, evil trees and cars, and that's totally kind of what Revolting is, though. At the heart of it, I mean, it's not Germany in the Black Forest, but it's like, I guess it's just supposed to be kind of where you are. It's supposed to be Ohio.
Yeah, Ohio forest.
It's like Ohio, and it's just American forest, but it's like the same thing. It's like cars. It's as a crashed truck instead of a crashed car. It's like a crashed truck.
Oh my
at the entrance,
God, I can't believe they did that.
With the lights on. It's very similar to Verbolten. That's a little weird. Because I don't necessarily think that was a good theme in the first place, and it's like, why'd you copy it?
Yeah.
Did they hire Brian Marl for this? I don't know. But this is supposed to be it's a lumber company, so you enter like a lumber yard, and they did theme that well. That's why the Mystic Timbers sign is actually made to be a billboard. Like it's a road billboard, like off to the side, and then you actually enter underneath. It's like Miami River Lumber Company. Oh. So they did go that far, where it's like you enter into like what you're supposed to be entering into, and the ride sign's off to the side, so make it kind of absolute. Like you're actually going to this lumber facility. So like the shed is supposed to be like in that lumber yard.
Okay.
It's their shed, their tool shed or whatever.
And so what? You're picking up some lumber?
So we're trespassers.
Oh,
we're
what?
like it's like the setup. It's a classic setup to a horror film. One of the classic setups. So we're like teenage trespassers to the lumberyard, and I guess the idea is the trees are fighting back from being turned into lumber. So
this is like The Happening, that movie.
It's like yeah, okay, a little bit.
Flora and fauna
are kind of fighting
getting
back.
revenge, on humans.
It's I guess it's a little bit like that.
So it's a combination of Verbolten and a terrible M. Night Shyamalan movie.
It's like Shyamalan got his hands on Verbolten, and this is what he came up with.
Okay.
Yeah. Kind of, yeah. So it's like, it's not Old West. I mean, it's supposed to be present day. I guess Rivertown is. The whole thing is, right? Isn't it sort of like a leftover old town that's like just done that way for charm factor.
Yeah, well, like you said, it's their Wild West.
It's their Wild West, but it's like unlike most. That maybe is the big difference. It's supposed to be kind of contemporary, and it's like in Ohio. It's supposed to be like in the place you're in.
Sure,
it's not West. It's like Midwest.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like wild Midwest, like remnants of whatever kind of backwoods areas they may still really have in their life. I don't know.
Sure.
But so it's like that, and then so it's like we trespassed onto the property. I guess the trees are going to start to get us, and so we hop into an old truck. The coaster trains look like trucks, the front of them. The whole thing, actually, the trains are themed. They've made them look like they're rusting. They have like rusty truck paint jobs, and the fronts have truck fronts on them. And we're racing through the forest to get away. And then we stupidly race into the shed, which we were told at the beginning not to go into.
Okay.
So that's the whole setup for the whole thing. It's it works in the sense that they play it up. It's got nice music, some nice ambiance with the music as you're waiting, and in the station it sounds. It's funny because I'm so used to it now. It sounds like something from a haunt event. It sounds like something from a Halloween event. It really is done up like that. Like it's like you're in a horror movie. There's cute TVs that don't play the regular fun TV from the park. They have a video just for the ride.
Oh.
They play like the security footage, and the security guards trying to find you before like the trees do, I guess, or whatever. So it's like there's a whole thing involved. I didn't get to see that whole thing because I never had to wait.
Yeah.
On the queue proper, it was a station wait every time. One of the big things I saw that made me so glad that I got to do this ride during this event of Coasterstock is right when you get into the station, is a big sign, preferred seating not guaranteed.
Oh.
So they're clearly, and I only rode it during ERT. So I've only ever done this ride at night now during ERT. I rode it probably about 8 times total by the end. So they must be doing assigned seating during the day. They must be, based on that sign at least.
They had that with Banshee.
They must be. Yeah, maybe the new ride always gets it. I did ride Banshee a couple of times during regular hours though, and it was not assigned.
Oh, interesting.
So maybe now that's a couple of years in, they're not doing it.
Okay.
But they're doing it, I guess, for the now new ride at Mystic Timbers. But they were not doing that for us during ERT, so don't have to worry about that. You get to pick your road, no problem. They were nicer about it with Banshee though. They let us do what we wanted.
Oh yeah,
to do.
every time they let us go in the back.
It is generally not a terrible thing, but it's better without it though. In every case.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
But didn't have to worry about that. Got to cut on where I wanted to sit.
I mean, unless it's Disney, I'll give them an exception for that when they have to move a bajillion people through the ride an hour.
The number of people that are there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And more like people go to Disney parks that don't know what they're doing than any other park. So.
Yeah, it's yeah.
That's the only place I'm going to give the park a break.
And you have something like Space Mountain where it doesn't even matter that much. Where you sit on the short little train anyway.
Yeah.
So we rode in the back, like within the back 3 rows every time. It might be the best GCI.
Oh, really?
That's what you got there. You got basically. I have to ride Apocalypse again just to make sure, but I think it's better. I think it may be the best thing they ever did.
Really?
It's incredible.
Oh, okay.
That's all I have to say. It's great. Yeah. It's a great ride. My biggest, maybe my only complaint is it's a little short. Mm-hmm. I want a little more there. I want just a little bit more. It's more than half. It's like 2/3 of a ride. It needs a little bit more. But what's there, and to do it at night, like it's incredible.
Is it really a speed ride, or is there any air in there?
I guess it's technically both, but I only really proceed the speed. GCI doesn't do eject your air anyway. Their air is very gentle anyway, so it's like gentle air as you're going. But it's all speed.
No mid-course brake run?
Oh, no.
Because it's short?
Nothing even close. That's high speed all the way.
Yeah. Okay.
It's high speed ride all the way.
That's good. That's good to hear.
It's like a better Boulder Dash, kind of. Okay. But again, a little bit shorter than that. I wish it was
Boulder Dash is long.
I just wish it was a little longer. Yeah. That first drop is great. It feels a little steeper than what they've done in the past. Everything's moved towards steeper. So I think GCI maybe has 2. It's their classic just turn drop, but like it's.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if they.
Yeah, but it's really nice and steep.
It's all out in the woods and it's dark out there.
It's all out in the woods, not totally dark though. The ride goes over a lot of the rapids.
Oh.
And maybe because of that, there's lights they just always keep on, or they have to keep on. But yeah, there was like some lights there. It wasn't totally dark. But even not being totally dark, like it was still just awesome. So much back and forth and, quick left, quick right. And then, so many hills and, really
All
good.
right.
Tunnel left turn around.
Yeah, it seems like, I don't know, GCI has only gotten better over the years. I don't know what's going on with that.
They're really doing some great work.
Maybe it's the middle years that were a little weird. Because there was a point where
Well, it was weird.
like I loved them, and then I got a little down on them, and
It was just because
then I kind of loved them
I think
again.
it was just because they were stagnant.
That's what it was.
They just kept making the same ride over and over
Yeah.
again for a while there.
Yeah, okay.
And now they're doing some different things. Great stuff. Great addition to that park.
It fits in. It's not, we have the Beast, what do we need this thing for? It's not like that.
Oh no, it's or even maybe we have Racer, but
Oh, sure.
it's like
Yeah, it's actually the third
no
wood.
Racer is like I don't even like really, and then Beast is awesome for in its own way for what it is, and then this is something completely different. It's like what they started to do even on that in that Orlando Fun Spot one.
Oh, White Lightning?
A little bit, and then like this takes that to the next level. Because it is also like that. It's mostly out and back, but it's out and back with a ton of twisting.
Yeah.
As you go though, every train that came back to the station was like full applause. The enthusiasts loved it. They were eating it up.
Better than Thunderhead?
Well, that's the thing. Thunderhead may still be their masterpiece in terms of a full ride. So that's the other one. I don't know. I think I might still like that better because it's like a full experience.
Mm-hmm.
It's just taller and everything. But the Mystic Timbers though is right up there. It's probably their second best overall then maybe.
Okay.
They even did like a little theming on the lift, not in terms of anything that you see, but like the lift like actually slows down and there's audio that plays.
Oh.
Because it's supposed to be the security guards like getting on the PA trying to get you out. So they have that little touch. And then, the shed thing,
Okay, so hang on. So, spoilers. If you don't want to hear about this, skip a couple minutes ahead. All right, so what's in the damn shed?
What's in the shed? What's in the shed? What's in the shed? Disappointment? Is that... Disappointment's in the shed? It's a screen.
Okay.
There's a screen in the shed, all right? And that's it. I mean, all right, so it's well themed. It's just like you go in there and it is essentially though like the brake run, and then like we wait on the brakes because they're running it with 3 trains, but it's a shorter ride, so like there is always like a little stack up. So in a sense, that's really what it is though. It's just like because you'll be sitting there anyway, in the brakes waiting for the next train so you can go, and then you can unload. And then they didn't do separate load and unload. They did like a little themed brake run instead. That they're calling the shed. There's like the vines of the trees that have like grown into it, and then there's just like signs on the wall, warning signs, and there's lights. Reminds me of Pompeii. If you kind of the Pompeii swinging light deal on the top.
Okay.
It's those like lights on wires.
Yeah.
On the top. And then I guess it's pretty good lighting. They got some good lighting in there. There's some nice creepy lighting. The screen is disguised fairly well. I mean, you don't believe for a second that it's not a screen, but it is like that's straight ahead. So you pull in, and then straight ahead is the screen. I'm always riding in the back, so I'm actually always pretty far from it. At least from being pretty far from it, it looks all right. Everything is like real sets though around you, and the ceiling and everything, and then it's just screen front. Oh, and then there's a screen on the side too, to the right. But I was always in the back. You don't even see that right side screen until you get pretty far in to the shed until we were advancing up. And then the screens are like done with like wood around it. So like it's not just a block, not just a square or a rectangle. It is sort of in there. And so the front screen is like the doors, the front, I guess we kind of crash to the back of the shed to get in. And then that's like the front doors. It's like a screen that they're sort of swaying in the wind a little bit. You see them. And on the side, I don't know what the side shows when you're at rest. But it is kind of awkward because you get in there and then you just wait. It's like you're waiting for action almost because then they don't the actual little thing that happens doesn't happen until you're moving, which means that you're advancing and then there's a right-hand turn and then back into the station. So you pull in and then you're in it and then it's just okay, what's gonna happen? And you wait. It's different every time. It depends on how long it takes for them to dispatch the train in front. that's in the station. So you're just waiting there. They play a little music though, I guess, which is a nice little touch. They, I guess it's supposed to be like there's like a radio in the shed. I guess maybe that the maintenance guy left on or something. So like you'll pull in and then it'll start up all of a sudden. Maybe it's supposed to be a phonograph almost because it's almost like or like reels or something.
Okay.
I don't know why that would be in the shed actually, but
Yeah.
and then like it's a different song every time. It's like a pop song will play. The one I remember was Hall & Oates' Man Eater, I think.
Okay. That's
Is that the name of the song or?
So just pop music. Huh?
But just like 80s or pop music or whatever.
It's weird.
No, that was one was more of a contemporary one, a more recent top 40. I think I don't know anything from the last 15 years of music really. That isn't what I sought out. You know, my alternative rock. But the Hall & Oates stuck out in my mind. I remember that one. So a little song plays and you're just kind of waiting, and it's like you're all just waiting, and then finally when I guess their station's clear, you advance through, and then it's like, brrr, and then like music starts, and then the lights shake, and the lighting like changes and flickers and shit, and then that's like, all right, now we're gonna get something, and then it's just screen action. So basically, just it looks like something is coming at you from the front, and then also the side, the side screen and the front screen as you're going through it. Like in the front and the side, it's like a quick little rah or something, and then rah, and then that's it, and then station.
Oh, all right.
So it's the variety thing. There's at least I saw 3.
Oh, okay.
So there's 3 different versions at least, and it plays off of the other rides in the park. And I almost kind of feel like I got it perfect because the first one I saw was the tree, that is the tree with the face. That's like the logo of the ride. Him attacking us. That's the first one. And I feel like that's what you probably should see the first time. That's like, that's what the ride's supposed to be, right? So the door gets thrown off, gets ripped off the hinge, and it's rah, the tree. The second time though, it was a giant mutant bat, giant vampire bat.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I saw that too, I was like, oh. And then there was like on the side screen, it was like a bunch of little bats like flying in at you. So then I was like, oh, bat. Okay, they have the bat. I wonder if it's going to be like themed to the coasters here. And then the third thing I saw was a giant snake. So it was Diamondback. Diamondback attacks you. So they kind of played off the different rides in the park. I don't know if there's a Beast one.
Yeah.
But Beast doesn't have a face.
Right.
It's just the claws. I don't know if they do as a claw one.
And
I mean, I rode it like 8-9 times, but I only ever saw those 3.
yeah.
So at least there's Diamondback, bat, and then the Timbers.
Didn't want the Banshee.
Tree. Or a Banshee Ghost. Yeah, I know. There's a
yeah.
couple. All the rides there kind of lend themselves to that. So I wonder if there's more. I only saw 3.
A Firehawk? I don't know.
The ride that you forget's there.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if it was at the beginning. I'd appreciate it more if they did it in the beginning, and then it got you pumped, and then you did the ride. But the ride is so great. It doesn't need it either way. I mean, it's fine the way it is.
Yeah, I wonder why they
whatever.
even bothered.
I mean, the whole thing is not Cedar Fair at all, like we thought when we first saw the announcement.
Right.
It's not. It's peculiar, but it works. I like it. I don't not like it. It's a good addition to the park. We didn't have to lose anything. I mean, all we did was reroute the Rapids queue. Mm-hmm. The Rapids queue
it is good.
is a little less forested, I guess, but I don't know. Doesn't matter to me all that much. Doesn't take away from that all that much. Other than that, it's great.
You know what kind of bothers me a little bit though? That they only made 2/3 of a ride. Kings Island's a huge park.
Yeah.
It's not like they don't have the room or the resources. It's like, come on, guys.
It
Build
was
a full-size ride.
Yeah, and it was fun. Just the whole experience was cool. This was one of the first times I got to take my girlfriend, who I was with, who's kind of an enthusiast. She never really had a chance to do a ton of parks though before. She met me, and then now she's going to a lot of places that she had never been to before. And she'd never been to Kings Island. Kind of interesting though, getting a few comments from her too, getting to see things in a slightly different way maybe, or even just the way I, being there now with someone with like her, I'm like explaining some things as we go, and then like I'm putting 2 and 2 together in my own mind, like, oh, I never thought about it that way before.
Right.
Like I would say something and then be like, oh, like one of the things I never really thought about before was that Kings Island likes them long. Like, I mean, they're famous for the Beast. And how long that ride is, and they tried Son of the Beast, and that failed. But like Banshee's a really long ride. Actually, it's the longest inverted coaster. Diamondback is really long. It's not the longest of that type, but it's really long. Their signature rides usually are long. They like long coasters. Vortex is really long. It's a mess of steel. That ride's huge. They like them long there. And then she brought this up to me. She said, because I was just saying like my one complaint was she loved Mystic Timbers, by the way. That's
good.
I think that's her like second favorite of all time now.
Oh wow,
that just hit the spot. She loved it, and that's great too because it made me like it even more. I think through her enthusiasm, it's great. You play off each other, but the thing she said to me when I said that was like, oh, you're just saying that because it's like it feels short in the context of this park, and that was a good point. And it's hard to tell. I'd have to ride it, and it's impossible. I'd have to ride Mystic Timbers in the middle of a day at Dorney or something and maybe it isn't as short as I thought. Maybe it's just you perceive it because every other coaster there is so long that ride does come off a little shorter, definitely in the context of that park. I still feel like it was a little short just anyway, but like it needed a final helix or something, just a little something, you know?
Okay.
But also against those other rides in that park, it's also short. I mean, they definitely squeezed it in where they put it, which is also maybe a little, you could question why they decided to put it there. It fits, but at the same time, it's like they had to go over the rapids a bunch.
Yeah.
And like do that, and maybe they didn't have. We could have had more room somewhere else. Probably. I know they own all that forest that goes way back where the Beast is.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So that was a little frustrating, but it was so good that it didn't really bother me that much.
Yeah.
Great stuff. So Mystic Timbers, they got a winner on their hands. Have you heard that one before?
Yeah.
Facebook. You guys are on your own. I don't do Facebook certainly really ever, but my girlfriend does some, and so she was reading some of the Facebook comments coming in from the Coasterstock feed, and some of that was a classic. Someone had wrote that like, "Oh, you guys got a winner on your hands." Like someone was talking to Kings Island.
Yeah.
In a comment, and it's like, "Oh, they always say that."
Yeah, no matter what is put in. Yeah.
But that really is a winner. It really is. From what I could see, the queue was full all throughout the day, the regular operating day.
Mm-hmm. So would you do another event like this?
I absolutely would. Yes, I liked it, and I would.
Would you go back to this specific one again?
I would. It was a nice way to experience Kings Island, and to get everything in a different way. I definitely would. Although the one I want to do next year is Coaster Mania at Cedar Point. I want to check out Cedar Points.
Oh, that's got to be crazy.
Yeah, from what I hear, it's like twice as many attendees, but they also give you like a ton more rides during each ERT session.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kings Island's still doing great. Park looks great. Everything else was running great. So the second morning ERT was the Coney Mall. So that was Vortex, Racer, Flight of Fear, and bumper cars and swings, I think. They threw a couple flats in.
Okay.
So I didn't do this with the flats, but we did Vortex that way. Flight of Fear. Oh, they were doing Flight of Fear. They were giving you lights on rides.
Oh.
Which I didn't really care about that really. That's like an enthusiast thing that I didn't give a shit about. But they were doing they made the announcement, like the operator kept announcing every other ride.
Well, it's like stupid because you can get that ride outside at Six Flags America.
It does exist.
There's no mystery to that. It would be better to have pitch black in there.
Yeah.
'Cause you can't get that anywhere.
Right. I didn't care. I didn't want lights on. And then actually what ended up happening is we got in the train. We waited one because that was like the lights on one. And then it was supposed to be lights off next one. And the guy forgot to turn the lights off. The operator. So I got my first ride this time around was lights on. And I didn't even want it.
Yeah.
And I got it. And it was just like, oh, this isn't anything I care about. And then I waited it again and got lights off. I was almost going to forget, actually. And my chick, she actually yelled out. She's like, lights off! She helped us all out. She helped us all out, and she yelled it out. And then the guy was like, oh, and turned the lights off. And then launched the train, and then we got the lights off.
Okay.
Like you're supposed to get it. That's still a great ride, though.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's good.
And that was funny. That happened. So on the last night, ERT, the Saturday night, it was the same. It was Beast, Diamondback, Timbers, but instead of the aerial chase, it was backlot stunt coaster.
Okay.
So and that it rained a bit. We actually lost like half that ERT, maybe more, like 2/3 of it, because it was raining. A thunderstorm was going through. So I never got around to Backlot Stunt. I heard from someone else that they were doing lights on there though. So I guess they put lights on in that tunnel section at the end. Again, it's like I don't give a shit though.
Yeah.
I don't know why that would be any better.
Yeah.
But apparently they were doing that there. But that was something I heard. I remember we did the Beast first, and that was great. By the way, that was the smoothest Beast ride I've ever had. Was I guess when the tracks were wet.
Oh, okay.
But I heard that was like at that time the Beast had opened, but Timbers hadn't yet. And like one woman who was we're all enthusiasts there at the event, but who I guess was a local. That was her local park. She was saying how like, oh, I haven't gotten a rain ride on Timbers yet, and it just made me realize like, oh, I guess that's a thing too. I guess for those that are maybe even, I don't know that they're more enthusiastic than I am, but just they approach it differently. I guess obviously than I do, or me and you do, certainly. That they get off on some of these other things too, like lights on ride or the rain ride. Like I just know it hurts when it hits your face, so I don't really care for rain rides. I never really wanted to like make it a thing where I experience everything like in the rain, you know?
Right.
That's definitely not something that I want. But I guess for some of these, the hardest of the hardcore, like that's even a thing for them. Like they get excited for that. Like, oh, I haven't gotten a rain ride on Timbers yet. This will be great. Hope they open it tonight. I mean, I'm not making fun. I mean, that's cool. I guess it does that, especially Woody's. It definitely makes them more slick. I think maybe it's more perceptible there. I don't know if it changes steel as much. So they were even getting excited about that. Some of them were actually happy it had rained that night because it was like another cool thing they could get to experience.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, wow, that's neat. You know, something else. And of course they did open Timbers that night. And then, you know, that ride I did not notice being any different than the prior night where it was dry. It seemed the same to me. Because it's so fast, you whip through that course. It was great all times I rode it. So, but Beast I did kind of feel was a little smoother actually, the way it rode on the wet tracks, the wet rails. So Coasterstock was great. I look forward to more events in the future. And so, I mean, do you think you'll? You really just couldn't. It wasn't like you didn't want to. You had other engagement, so you honestly couldn't.
Yeah.
And because I was doing the event, which weekend I went wasn't negotiable. It had to be that weekend, so it just didn't work out, unfortunately. But do you think you would go?
Yeah, sure.
You know,
I'd give it a
because
shot.
I'll tell you. I told you about this one. I'll tell you about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, all right. Yeah, I think you probably get just as much out of it as I did. I don't see why you wouldn't.
Yeah.
Great. So we'll do it. We'll tell you all about it. All right. Thanks for riding. Ride hard.